Ho, ho, ho. So I hope it works now. I have no idea what happened there. Usually it works. Now let's see if it remains stable. Worked like a charm the last few days. So we're going to go back and have a look at everything there. And yeah, here we go. Back. Yeah, it kind of woke up again when I made a speed test, so here we go. So we have the drowned worm nations. These guys have been hit with a lot of catastrophes. Nah, that's not my neighbor. I don't know what happened there. There's some construction work around here, so that might be it. It could also be Vodafone being Vodafone. Then the Industrial Age, then we have the Formation Sage Zones, Organic Computer T-Rexes, and the Solar Age already. We have the Raw Worm territories. They came last. Yeah, they didn't cut it, I think, but who knows. Then we have the Siri factions that settled on the Sirius system. So here they are. They've landed with their spaceship. I think we should try to do that again. Hi there, welcome back, Mile a Minute. Yeah, I had some problems with the internet connection, very atypical, but now it seems to be good. So let's get flowing with our colony here. Receive a signal from our companions in the soul. Hello again, Lucy Dawnstar. Welcome here. So how we're doing that, once an event comes, we change to the civilization that has the event. And if there's a big decision for the civilization, we'll take that decision together. Other than that, I'm just trying to balance the game a bit when there's something like that, for example. Try to make good decisions. I've played the game through in 1.5 hours. Just for the test how quick I could do it. Privately. So it's possible to be very quick in that. But that's not really that fun. It's just a concentration thing. Power in Soul. Here we go. Battle bots. The formation begin constructing autonomous and highly intelligent combat machines. Large military battle bots are expected to dominate the battlefields of the Sol system. Could prevent the battle bots, or we could not prevent the battle bots. We could go regular development. Code brutal mechanical fighters. Escalate the militarization of the formation. Living armies don't stand a chance against the powerful robots. Absolute power. The battle bots are ruthlessly efficient, intelligent, and adaptive. All other military ground vehicles, soldiers, and even formation police forces are quickly replaced by T-Rex robots. So we have one time regular. Absolute power to the battle bots. Oh god. With 2 times absolute power. The poor dinos with their battle bots. Absolute, 1 times regular. Yeah. So majority is for the battle bots. Ruthlessly efficient. Press the pedal to the metal. The cities and space stations of the formation were patrolled by robotic security enforcers without fear, mercy, or any other emotions that would compromise their objective. Their steel jaws eating any dissenters. Formation, build an astonishing monument. to the battle bots on an inner planet of the Sol system. On Earth, Formation planetary engineers establish new resource management methods. We go to the Rao worms. They've reached the Industrial Age, finally. They start to study electricity, steam power, and machine manufacturing. In the Industrial Age, harnessing the power of radio waves might allow them to send signals into outer space, but this civilization could accidentally eradicate itself as weapons development thrusts forth. Interference with a planet poses a serious threat to the ecosystem that has sustained Raoiti through the ages. Go for wisdom. This age sees an explosion in the Rao potential for telecommunication via radio waves. Mass-produced goods, including new medicines, could improve the lives of many. Advancement? Hard work and ingenuity are needed to manage rapid urbanization without critically harming the planet. Train networks across vast swaths of Gliese Sea offer high-speed mobility for both freight and passengers or power. The Rao focus their efforts on designing tanks, bomber planes, and simple automatic weapons for increased leverage against enemies. Naval warfare also gets industrialized. 2 times advance. 1 times power. We're gonna go an advancement. Carried by an unwitting team of polar explorers, a deadly parasite propagated quickly in Rao hosts. Yeah, that's their history still. They support large library areas through industrial production. Have more fossil fuels. They mourn the death of a beloved leader. Oh yeah. They're afraid of invaders. Maybe the Siri factions. Depopulation in Sirius. Over the last centuries, the Siri constructed many space stations as hubs for interplanetary travel routes. They've become a home for many in the Sirius system, but since long-term maintenance is costly, its population centers are starting to decay. We could not prevent them. We could go for regular development. The population numbers fall steadily as Siri space stations become uninhabitable. Or massive depopulation. The Siri have to completely abandon the decaying space stations after their population shrinks drastically due to expired life support systems and broken interplanetary infrastructure. So we have regular. I have to say I'd also go regular on this. But regular. Here we go. So we have no growth anymore. See how that works out. Let's have a little bit of it. Growing colonial base expands its influence on Dogstar. Siri colonists establish a new faction. Receive a signal from our companions in the Sol. Siri authors several volumes on the colonization of Dogstar. Populous Siri colonial base becomes a corporate administrative hub. Conflict between 2 major Siri factions is settled peacefully. The drowned worms have growth, or something like that. Vaccine production. Vaccines for the world's deadliest diseases have been developed. Scientists urge the leaders of Tau City 3 to mass produce and freely distribute these vaccines worldwide, potentially eradicating infectious diseases. Civilization pillar. As a civilization pillar, vaccination becomes a global effort, and the formulae are shared freely. Infectious diseases are a thing of the past for the drowned. That could be dangerous with the growth, even. Regular development. Increased production of vaccines leads to gradual progress toward eliminating disease on Tau City 3. Or a dead end. Vaccines become proprietary and expensive, forcing some drowned to make bootleg vaccines. This prompts suspicion and anti-vaccination movement develops. So you all want to go for pillar? Alright, let's go. Full risk. Here we go. Vaccinate the galaxy. Due to a concentrated global vaccination effort, the drowned have eradicated the most infectious diseases. Tau City 32% growth. That's madness. It's madness. Here we go. The needle weapons. But the formation now reached the light speed age. Racing into the light speed age, interstellar journeys are shortened from centuries to mere decades. Formation civilization sets new speed records in areas such as quantum state computing, light jet manufacturing, mining for resources from faraway planets. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see, we can go for wisdom. The ability to conduct outer space archaeology expeditions. Formation begin to understand their role in the galactic dance of existence. Questions about alien life give rise to the study of xenogenetics or advancement. Formation achieved true mastery of space travel, and colonial development crosses major hurdles. The civilization also makes leaps in genetic modification and cloning, perhaps even creating new life forms, such as trash-eating plants. Oh, power. When exploration and travel bring them in closer contact with alien species, the formation accelerate their arms race to light speed. The wisdom of the sages. Cities and space stations were patrolled by robotic security enforcers. Oh yeah, we've had that. It sometimes lags behind. But now, the wisdom is there. The wisdom of the sages. Formation architects embark on the cleanup of a polluted naval trading route on Earth. They developed new media to communicate the history of their civilization. Do the Siri factions do? They reached light speed age as well. Interstellar journeys, light jet manufacturing, and all kinds of cool things happen to them. But they have not enough wisdom. They could advance. The Siri achieved true mastery of space travel, and colonial development crosses major hurdles. The civilization also makes leaps in genetic modification and cloning, perhaps even creating new life forms such as trash-eating plants. Or power. When exploration and travel bring them in closer contact with alien species, the Siri accelerate their arms race to light speed. Advance, and power. So we have advancement. They advance their growth. Colonists declare themselves an independent system and assume the name Siri for more advancement. Here we go. Gives the Siri the ability to harvest resources from gas giants in the Sirius system. Oh, I'm sorry. Mile a minute. I was too quick to decide. Usually I'm not so quick, but I started to become quicker. We have knowledge with the RAW. The RAW circulate scientific bulletins with research findings and breakthroughs all over the globe. These bulletins become the most discussed form of news media worldwide. We could make them a civilization pillar, become crucial for the RAW species. Being up on the latest discoveries becomes socially important. The editors become incredibly influential. Regular development. Over time, the public's trust in the scientific method is eroded and bulletins become purely focused toward the scientific community. Research capabilities of the RAW are slightly improved. Dead end. Wildly popular bulletins become overwhelmed with advertisements, gradually annihilating any scientific merit. RAW learn nothing. Synthesis. For dinos, we have 2 times the Civ pillar. For science. There's an argument to be made for every one of the choices. No choice is bad. So we'll go for science. RAW endeavor became centered around furthering scientific study. Ignorance of modern scientific principles became socially unacceptable. Statues of scientists and the editors that promoted them were erected all over the world. Crazy. And now, they enjoy a new enchanting style of music albums. Rifle soldiers laid down their simple rifles and abandoned the art of war. Indeed. Tough choice. Tough choice. Yeah, that's... New scientific newspaper brings spectacular new scientific discoveries to all row. And the drowned warm nations have come to the nuclear age. When rocket technology begins to take off, the race for space dominance among the emerging superpowers of Tau City 3 is on. The threat of drowned extinction looms ever heavier on the horizon. They delve into the secrets of the atom. Meanwhile, in suburbia, the masses are unsure whether to be frightened or excited about the social upheaval, or to shake up their notions of sexuality, drug use, and civil rights. Also, rock and roll could become a thing. Yeah. We could go wisdom for free. They'd romanticize technology as they begin to see the rapid, drastic changes it brings about in their society, inspired by science fiction across all media. The drowned hope to make contact with alien life forms, if there's anybody out there. For advancement, the drowned could achieve the dream of space travel in this age, with superhighways now connecting most cities. Might also be a good time to start thinking about reducing fossil fuel consumption. Or power. Heading further down the warpath, the drowned can expect to see assault rifles, jet fighters, and napalm, not to mention the mother of all bombs. Yeah, that one. So we have wisdom, wisdom. Double wisdom. Advancement, yeah. But the pop growth is also terrible to increase the pop growth, so it's... We can hope that tech saves us. It might be too late. Here we go. We have so many of them. We have so many of them soon. Not yet, but... Mountain area is destroyed by a massive flood. And mourn the death of a great nuclear scientist. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that, Lucy. Formation Sage Alliance development event. But if you do the choice from the big decision, you get 6% growth. So you need 3 negative bubbles to counter that. That's quite much reduction in soul. Plastic plants. The mass scientists of Formation develop new plants that produce natural polymer, capable of replacing the synthetic materials used in the Sol system. So, no pillar, but we could go regular development. The use of polymer reduces the need for other minerals, but the new plants also invade the traditional nature of Earth and destroy local fauna. Dead-end manufacturers of traditional synthetics oppose the new polymer plants and destroy their harvests through engineered pesticides. But as I say, I'm fine with any decisions. I just want to highlight that there are some risks to some tactics. Regular or dead end? Here we go. Ecological upheaval. Earth has a very specific weed problem. Both professional and amateur horticulturists alike have been complaining for ages about the wild polymer plants that creep between their crops every season. Many Formation have spent their childhood crafting polymer tat out of the weeds from their parents' garden. Oh my goodness me. Formation mourn the death of a great mass scientist who leaves behind an important legacy. It's possible that an advanced civilization exists in the Sol system. Here we go. Memes promoting environmental conservation methods circulate among the Formation in the Sol system. A major Sage Alliance falls from influence. Solar trade wars causes suffering and despair among the Formation. dangerous. What do the Siri do? Yeah, memes are a driving thing. Sirius is sending signals into space. How they could contact their home, maybe. Lightspeed engine tests. The Siri are experimenting with advanced lightspeed spaceship engines. To perfect them, countless tests have to be done at the border of Sirius's gravity well. At some point, the emissions from those tests could reach other stars. DNA of the soul. So we could have a regular signal. After getting the results from sufficiently powerful trials, the Siri stopped their testing program. But emissions from the prototype drives have already started wandering towards the Sol system. So I have to explain, to get final tech, it is also sufficient if you have, for example, 4 colonies of one civilization that have contact with each other. That is enough to reach final tech and win the game. So we could go regular. Or we could go silence. The tests are too dangerous to conduct near the Sirius system, so the scientists decide to simulate them with complex computer programs. We have 1 times regular, 2 times silence. Here we go. The sound of silence. Siri were able to build Lightspeed-capable spaceship drives without ever doing a single field test. Instead, complex modeling and simulation programs were used. Here we go. So they will receive a signal from our companions in the Sol. This powerful Commonwealth falls on Dogstar. Growing extraplanetary city expands its influence on Dogstar. Siri and the Sirius system mourn the death of a beloved governor, and the Rao warm nations have reached a new technological age, the nuclear age, as well. When rocket technology begins to take off, the race for space dominance among the emerging superpowers of Gleaser sees on. The threat of Rao extinction looms ever heavier on the horizon. They delve into the secrets of the atom. Meanwhile, in suburbia, the masses are unsure whether to be frightened or excited about the social upheaval, but to shake up their notions of sexuality, drug use, and civil rights. Also, rock and roll could become a thing. Nuclear warm bugs. We could go for wisdom. They romanticize technology as they begin to see the rapid, drastic changes it brings about in their society. Inspired by science fiction all across the media, the Rao hope to make contact with alien life forms if there's anybody out there. Could also advance. The Rao could achieve the dream of space travel in this age. The superhighway is now connecting most cities. It might also be a good time to start thinking about reducing fossil fuel consumption of power. Heading further down the warpath, the Rao can expect to see assault rifles, jet fighters, and napalm, not to mention the mother of all bombs. Yeah, that one. So we have 2 times advancement, 1 times power. We'll go for advancement. Here we go. The Rao nuclear age, armies with powerful muskets decimated those without. This opened the doors to conquest and colonization. For those who possess the key, a mastery of firearms, every major warm state invested in gunpowder weapon technology, hoping to outboom all the others. Defend ourselves against an alien invasion, are they asking? Maybe from the Drowned Worm Union's extinction event. Nuclear Armageddon. Despite the knowledge that their enemies are capable of nuclear retaliation, a belligerent faction of the Drowned, also armed with nuclear weapons, launches a full-scale attack. Anything short of total destruction would be a miracle now, as the Drowned civilization hangs in the balance, waiting for the bombs to drop. So we could go for close call. The officers in charge of the weapons disobey their orders at the last minute and tell their opponents to do the same. That thing happened on Earth already, 1 time. With a legendary, I think, Russian officer, was it? I don't know exactly. Minimal survivors. Nuclear Armageddon. The nuclear Armageddon vaporizes all major cities, but a small fraction of the original population survives the fallout bunkers. Complete extinction. Tau City 3 is covered in mushroom clouds and nuclear fire. All around perish in the radioactive fallout. So we have 2 times close call. 1 times minimal survivors. Here we go, close calling. The biggest heroes of the drowned were those officers who refused the nuclear strike order that would have led to the total destruction of their civilization. Yeah. I already took it. I'm sorry. So here we go. We have resource scarcity, so there's that. Let's combat that a bit. Establish new resource management methods. And the formations have reached the Singularity Age. The formation create machines capable of recursive self-improvement. These constructs can build even more powerful copies of themselves autonomously, growing their potential with each generation. The path to true artificial intelligence is clear. Could go for wisdom. Self-learning AI is able to process data and innovate faster than any formation scientist. Breakthroughs in all fields of research happen almost daily. Advancement. Machines transform themselves to take on tasks such as cleaning up the environment, building formation habitation, and acting as caretakers for the elderly. Power. Adaptive robotic soldiers upgrade themselves after every conflict, soon evolving into the most deadly fighting force ever created by the formation. It's true, Lucy. It's a good argument. It's a good argument. We have 2 times wisdom. 1 times advance. So we'll go for the wisdom. I have to ask again, is it fine with the stream? Because I'm already getting bitrate warnings again. Today it's wonky. It's a Vodafone Friday. Cities and space stations. The formation were patrolled by robotic security enforcers. Ah, we had that already. Give me a short moment to see. Yeah, the stream should be fine again. Whoop. Yeah, it's complicated. It depends on how they produce resources. They lay down their sentient guns and abandon the art of war. Formation optimization controllers establish new resource management methods. Formation establish a new Sage Cloud. And there's a new development event. Sirius is building spaceships. World ship construction. The Siri are able to construct a titanic interstellar spacecraft housing a self-contained environment with its own internal atmosphere systems, artificial landscapes and agricultural ocean sectors. The mission goal is to reach the Kepler system. They want to go to the Kepler system. But we can only go regular development. The construction is successful and many Siri become inhabitants of the world ship. Will they ever want to leave the comfort of their interstellar vessel when they arrive years later in the Kepler system? Dead end. The self-contained systems work perfectly, but the Siri struggle with a Lightspeed engine. At some point the crew becomes tired of waiting for a breakthrough and simply use the mobile vessel as a space habitat. 2 times regular already? Here we go. Regular development. I think it's a given. Anonymous. Oh look, they have even a fancier helmet now. We're on the Siri world ship now, with 9.9 million dinosaurs. Running out of resources very quickly if we aren't like very careful. The Siri constructed this titanic interstellar spacecraft in the Sol system. The Siri world ship houses a self-contained environment with its own internal atmosphere systems, artificial landscapes, and agricultural ocean sectors. Here we go. The dinosaurs are on the way to Kepler system. I also love the name Kepler system. Ah, well. Let's see. Oh. Molecular computers simulate efficiency protocols for the Siri world ship personnel. Here we go. Yeah, it's true. There's innovation, there's pseudo-innovation. Things like that. Some of more production is just exploitation, which is bad. Some production is increased production, which is good. So there's these two types of production or ways, I think. Like, there's the exploitation. What you do when you do like coal mining or something, that is exploitation. But if you do something like a real well done forestry, that can be a circular economy. Same is it with agriculture. Like if you have heavy chemicals agriculture, then it is certainly some form of exploitation and not really production. On the other hand, when you go more into other things and use other innovation than exploitation innovation, then here we go. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. An armed conflict threatens the Siri on the Siri world ship. Stowaway clash. Some of the Siri on the Siri world ship are stowaways who smuggle themselves aboard on Earth, hiding in the vast interior spaces of the ship. Eventually they are discovered and a conflict arises over how to deal with these illegal passengers. Yeah, technology is not bad, but it's how you use the technology, like, or what technology gets developed. I mean, this game really sparks the discussions. Really, it's definitely an interesting discussion. If you have, for example, you have different types of energy, right? If you go for coal power, there's no real reason to go for coal power. It's just some false sense of security that coal power is somehow safe. But coal power ruins everything. Then you have nuclear power, which is a little bit better, but things can go wrong. It's an unsafe technology. We've seen that things can go wrong, so you have to be very careful for that. They're currently making like very small, they're on the way to create very small nuclear power plants, which could be safer. If that works, that's fine, but the safest form at the moment is renewables like solar and wind energy. If a solar cell fails, if a wind energy station fails, it's not going to have a very bad impact. It's not a catastrophe. It's not a catastrophe. So it's definitely the safest and cheapest, also cheapest form as of now is renewable energy, solar and wind. It isn't running 24/7, that's true, but you don't need energy 24/7, and you have different areas, and you have now really excellent batteries that are developed, for example, by Tesla. I think in Australia they've developed really, really super good batteries, so there's that. Yeah, they need some oil to work. They need something to work, but not like huge things like there's even oil power plants. That's just beyond. It's good to use these things as a starter for technology, but once you have other technology, you should really look for other things. So we have regular conflict or total war. I'll just count total war. We have total war once, we have regular conflict once, we have regular conflict twice. Stowaway clash. The Sage officer has no tolerance for trespassers. The stowaways obtain weapons from the ship's armory and try to defend themselves, but in the end they all end up being executed. 800,000 casualties. Once there were stowaways hiding aboard the Siri world ship, it took many years to find them in the vast spaceship interiors. Sage officer had no tolerance for trespassers and executed them all. Wow, that's really crazy. I mean, we have enough dinosaurs, so let's just hope it gets... Yeah, I have to say the problem to some point is competition. Like the competition of different countries. Instead of... like working hand in hand. And like only the people, they would cooperate. But it's like when it goes up there, to the echelons of power, some people want to compete. They want the absolute power. But as just a normal burger, you just want everyone out there in the international space to cooperate and to have peace. It drives innovation, definitely. It's absolutely, but like that, one against the other is also a problem. Without competition, there might be no innovation. On the other hand, there's also some other pressure that drives innovation: survival. And just ideas people have. Drowned warm unions. The drowned reached the digital age. The drowned are now connected via complex computer systems, satellite networks, and mobile communication devices. Preliminary genetic and biodigital experiments could lead to health improvements and longevity, but caution is advised in these and other uncharted territories. Culturally, the drowned may be confronted with techno-raves, massively multiplayer online games, Civil Rights 2.0 in the digital age. Could go for wisdom. Drowned all over Tau City 3 have unprecedented access to information, thanks to the internet. With processing power to spare, they may launch a coordinated search for intelligent life in the galaxy, or try to find cures for their deadliest diseases. Advancement. Drowned continue their exploration of space with renewed vigor. Navigating the pitfalls of mass consumerism, city planners explore possibilities for genetically modified crops that are safe to eat and also sustainable for farmers and the environment. Or power. Digital technology applied to warfare results in guided missiles, enhanced recon, and remotely piloted combat drones with autonomous killing machines just around the corner. Warm unions could also implement ubiquitous surveillance to keep tabs on their citizens. 2 times wisdom, 1 times the power. 4 technology, 4 wisdom. Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah, Utopia is there. It's coming. I mean, they've suffered enough, like in their history. I support your Utopia. Here we go. Utopia for a new style of video games. Definitely, right? Our digital experts are lying to us. Raw warm states. Enlightenment and Gleason. Civil rights movement. Rao have disenfranchised ethnic minorities and legalized racial discrimination against them. Resistance campaigns and grassroots protests against the warm states are rising all over Gleason Sea, demanding the abolition of segregation laws and the end of structural racism. Here we go. Civ Pillar. Discriminatory laws are abolished. Rao society is transformed by the civil rights movement. Class systems are dismantled by settlements, land-based compensation and community restructuring. Regular development. Civil rights movement makes a huge impact on lawmakers, but the structure of Rao society is still rooted in discrimination. Dead end. The secretaries of the Rao warm states scorn the movement. Law enforcement is used to infiltrate and break up civil rights groups. The privileged clutch to their racist past. So, dead end and 2 times Civ pillars. Okay, we have a Civ pillar here. Strong civil rights movement convinced the Rao to invest in a more equitable society. Minority and majority ethnic groups worked together to restructure communities on Sea and compensate the most disenfranchised. Wow, what we got there, crazy. What we got there. Mourn the death of a great nuclear scientist. Major Rao warm communities is settled peacefully. Could we defend ourselves against an alien invasion? I don't know. Battle over an important Rao library area is won by an army of motorized infantry. Environmental protection measures enacted by Rao city planners restore an Arctic region on Sea. Growing library area expands its influence on Sea. We have a new technological age. They reached a digital age. The Worms have the Rao. The Rao are now connected via complex computer systems, satellite networks, and mobile communication devices. Preliminary genetic and biodigital experiments would lead to health improvements and longevity, but caution is advised in these and other uncharted territories. Culturally, the Rao may be confronted with techno-raves, massively multiplayer online games, and civil rights 2.0 in the digital age. Could have advancement or power. Advancement. The Rao continue their exploration of space with renewed vigor. Navigating the pitfalls of mass consumerism, city planners explore possibilities for genetically modified crops that are safe to eat and also sustainable for farmers and the environment. Or power. Digital technology applied to warfare results in guided missiles, enhanced recon, and remotely piloted combat drones with autonomous killing machines just around the corner. Warm communities could also implement ubiquitous surveillance to keep tabs on their citizens. We have power. Power for the bugs. The Rao Warm administrations. And the Sage Clouds have another development event. Consumption in Sol. Ooh, decadent Sage Clouds. Some of the formation Sage Clouds use their access to the resources of Sol to enrich their leaders and the population of their orbital habitats. If the formation keep up with this abundance of wealth, will they eventually burn through their matter deposits, leaving nothing for the future? We cannot go prevention. We have regular development. Most wealthy clouds set up a system in which every inhabitant enjoys a carefully allotted share of the material abundance. Or massive consumption. The most decadent Sage regulators gain power and start to exploit Sol's matter deposits as if they were an infinite resource. 2 times regular? It'll be fine, yeah. Yeah, it's fun to swim against the stream sometime. But still, we're going for regular. In the Singularity Age, decadent Sage Clouds were so rich that their cups runneth over in a reverse taxation scheme. Resources were consumed at an alarming rate. But the affluent formation let the good times roll at public displays of extravagance. Parades of AI commandos reinforced their loyalty. We're living in a computer simulation? Alien technology will one day be sufficient to make contact with the Sol system. Siri Commonwealth. The Siri also reached the Singularity Age. They create machines capable of recursive self-improvement. True intelligence. We need 2 more singularity societies for final take. We can go for advancement. Machines transform themselves to take on tasks such as cleaning up the environment, building Siri habitation, and acting as caretakers for the elderly or power. Adaptive robotic soldiers upgrade themselves after every conflict, soon evolving into the most deadly fighting force ever created by the Siri. Advance, advance, advance. Let's advance. Rare unanimous decision. Here we go. A massive mining complex became the administrative center of the Sirius system. It was built by the corporate spacecraft from Sol. What is going on with the stream health? We have an excellent connection, they say, but we really don't. I think it might be YouTube, because the connection is fine. I've tested it. I'm just gonna wait a bit. I have strange data. I have 2 data from YouTube. I'm just gonna enlighten you from that. The one says I have 7 viewers at the moment. The other says I have 0 viewers at the moment. I'm not gonna believe anything of that. I will just go to continue. I hope you're all there. There's no decision at the moment anyway, so it is a YouTube problem, most probably, that we have there. It's a strange YouTube problem, apparently, where I cannot get enough upload while my connection seems fine. I've been monitoring it now. The Siri World ship has a development event. Ship destruction. Breaking the light barrier. Trying to reduce the travel time of the Siri World ship's Enterprise. The Sage Officer orders the onboard environmental engineers to overclock the impulse drives. However, one concerned mass scientist warns that flying too close to the light split barrier would destroy any world ship. Yeah, I mean, Stellaris is definitely in the pipeline. I'm preparing some things for that. We could go close call. The cautious mass scientist manages to manipulate the central molecular computer and stops the acceleration process, saving the Siri world ship and the entire personnel. Probably Jeff Goldblum or Nicolas Cage in a hurry. Like pressing some kind of button or smashing some kind of button. And then the ship gets stopped. Minimal survivors. Relativistic forces start to tear the Siri world ship apart. The lead environmental engineers are able to reverse the acceleration of the impulse drives, but it takes a long time for the world ship to stabilize. Only a fraction of the personnel survive. A complete extinction. The Sage Officer is ecstatic when the Siri world ship comes closer and closer to light speed, until instantly the atoms of the entire world ship and personnel are ripped apart. Minimal survivors. Here we go. Boom. Structure of the Siri world ship was weirdly contorted after it accelerated too close to the speed of light. Most of the personnel died during that maneuver. Members of the Siri world ship personnel recycle more than they consume. Sage Officer is appointed. Are you the baddie? Ooh. Philosophical questions. Optimizing the efficiency of the Siri world ship. Siri world ship personnel develop a new dialect of their native language. And now, what's going on? Really, I have... Whew. I am live, but also not live. Yeah, that's definitely YouTube. I've never had something like that. But I don't stream that often, so... It's probably Friday. Everyone's going to YouTube or something like that. So, here we go. Support systems are optimized by the Siri environmental engineers. Yeah, it's going to last a while. The logistics officers are optimizing the efficiency of the Siri world ship. Several Siri world ship managers are removed from their posts. And we have a development event for the drowned. Paradigm shift in Tau City. Singularity awareness. As scientists pour raw data into machine learning algorithms, they begin to approach drowned-level artificial intelligence. The warm groups of Tau Ceti 3 contemplate what might happen. Their software could create better versions of itself, setting off an AI explosion. Would the new superintelligence bring about a utopian society, or would it inherit the violent tendencies of its creators? Cultural expansion. When fears arise that a digital superintelligence will have no use for mere mortals, a warm group-sponsored trans-drownedist movement gains widespread popularity. Can't beat them, join them. Cultural dissent. Powerful tech companies lobby the warm groups to allow unrestricted development of AI, but they promise not to be evil. Military organizations make no such promises and conduct autonomous weapons research in secrets. They're wearing Hawaiian shirts now. It's gonna be great. Cultural expansion. Oh goodness, no. I think we have no choice but go. If we want them to survive, we should go cultural dissent. If we want them... I mean, that much growth added is I don't know what that will lead to. It will probably lead to extinction. We'll see. So it's your choice, really. I'll accept everything. The raptors are really losing out now, maybe. Oh my, the technical side of YouTube is currently a little bit... I'm sorry that the stream is so unstable. It's terrifying. If I'm... So your expansion, 2 times expansion. We're gonna go expansion. Here we go. Weird experiments. We have 40% growth. Resources will be exhausted in 49 years. Warning about future AI takeover of Tau Ceti 3. Drownedists advocated for integration with a knowledge explosion. Experimental smart cities offered an abundance and comfort in augmented reality. So many drowned plugged in, longing to one day leave their resource-consuming bodies behind. Yeah, absolutely, Lucy. It's... it's true. It's true. It's true. Here we go. Now let's see. Let's see. The drowned have a resource crisis now. Oh well. Climate crisis. Fossil fuel reservoirs are becoming scarce in the Tau Ceti system. The effects of trans-drownedism has brought the drowned civilization to a breaking point. Will the warm groups find ways to prevent the complete exhaustion of their environment, or will they turn against each other? We could go for war. 32 million casualties only. The drowned pick up their assault rifles and fight aggressively over access to the remaining fossil fuel reservoirs. Jet fighter divisions destroy entire mountain cities in the so-called oil wars. With the crisis, scarcity causes discord and competition among the drowned. Knowledge diminishes while the warm groups of Tau Ceti fight over dwindling resources. Precaution. The drowned warm groups prepare for a future without oil. Will their divine representatives preserve the environment of Tau Ceti or deny their people access to essential resources? Precaution 3 times. Here we go. Conservation. Oil preservation. To counter the scarcity of fossil fuel reservoirs in Tau Ceti, the ecologists of the drowned are taking control of their warm groups. Will they be able to create societies better equipped to deal with trans-drownedism? Will they? We could go for regular development. One warm group finds new ways to preserve the environment of Tau Ceti without bringing harm to the drowned. But other divine representatives continue the old ways of trans-drownedism or dead end. The authority of the ecologists is not recognized during the scarcity crisis. They fail to have any noteworthy influence over the drowned warm groups. Regular development. Here we go. We'll preserve oil. Oil became scarce in Tau Ceti during the drowned digital age. Most divine representatives continued their dangerous resource consumption, but One, warm groups found new ways to preserve their environment and maintain their population. Aha, we modernize everyday objects. Environmental protection measures restore an Arctic region. Seems okay. If aliens were to visit, are we sure to recognize them? A warm group falls, and the Siri world ship has its destination reached. They arrive in Kepler. After arriving in the Kepler system, the personnel of the Siri world ship starts to construct an orbital factory structure in the vicinity of Dog Star. Eventually, the Siri should be able to send many more ships towards this star system. We could go for a perfect success. Siri are successful in the construction of the factory, the supply line of mining stations on several planets, and housing on Kepler 4. Some point in the future, the Siri will be able to create more vessels, like the Siri world ship. Troubled development. After constructing the Starship factory, the Siri failed to create a functional supply line. The Siri world ship lands on Kepler 4 to establish a colony with the aim of surviving in their new environment and mining enough resources to fuel the factory. Total failure. The Siri start to mass-produce impulse drives inside the newly built Starship factory, but a critical accident leads to a chain reaction that turns the orbital colony along with the Siri world ship into dust. Perfect, troubled. We have perfect success. And here we go. The continents of this planet consist of either lush green jungles or rocky wastelands full of massive magma pits. Siri begin to make the Kepler system their home. Build a thriving civilization here in the Kepler system. Siri colonists build an astonishing monument on Kepler. And we have a development event, Injustice, in Kepler. Frontier Justice on Kepler 4. The borders of the Kepler interstellar branch are disconnected from the law of the established Siri Starship factory. Colonists and outcasts compete over valuable planetary resource fields. Personal justice and revenge is commonplace in the corporate frontier. We could not prevent it. We could go regular development. The cruelty of the frontier years passes, and the factions of the interstellar branch make arrangements with Siri outcasts for massive injustice. The leaders of the branch are not able to pacify the frontier outcasts, and the next generation adopts their creed of vigilantism. Vigilantism, my goodness me. So, here we go. The Outer Worlds. Yeah, the Outer Worlds is so good. I also want to play this too, but I have not enough time. It's so funny. Massive injustice. Yeah. Balance the being nice. Vigilantism. The cruelty of the frontier years of the Siri interstellar branch were idolized by future generations. Vigilantism and personal law became commonplace in the Kepler system. It's the wild, wild west out there. Social engineers inspire the Siri to live peacefully. Yeah, that's something we should do. Does our home still exist? Yeah, it still does. They establish a new faction. Receive a signal from our companions in the soul. Common's powerful faction falls on Kepler 4. More time. I've looked at that, but I've never played it, unfortunately. Mourn the death of a beloved leader. Conflict between two factions is settled peacefully. The warm groups are in a new technological age. They reached the cyber age. With rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and technologically augmented ground, civilization undergoes drastic change and reaches new milestones in science, engineering, and the arts. We can go for wisdom. Crossing into the realm of AI, Drown now have the ability to vastly improve their societies and facilitate communication with faraway beings. However, new technologies present great risks as well, so a little extra wisdom couldn't hurt. Advancement. The Drown focus on innovations in engineering. This includes finding the balance between consumption and resource preservation, advancing the infrastructure of their megacities, and exploring the galaxy beyond Tau Ceti. Or power. The Drowned prioritize military power, creating new tools for defense and combat on Tau Ceti 3 or elsewhere in space. The fear of yet unknown alien enemies inspires dreams of interstellar conquest. One time for wisdom. Two times for wisdom. It's ticking up there. Okay, we'll go for wisdom. Abstaining. Certainly a good choice. Warning about the future AI takeover of Tau Ceti 3, transdrownedists advocated for integration with a knowledge explosion. Experimental smart cities offered abundance and comfort in augmented reality. So many drowned plugged in, longing to one day leave their resource-consuming bodies behind. I think that was from the previous age. But anyways, Rao warm administrations. Development. Depopulation. Wearing clothes again. Online pornography. Oh my goodness me. This stream is so demonetized. The Rao share media with the primary purpose of sexual arousal in their global computer network. Some fear that the immediacy of access to sexual stimulus could lead to addiction, cultural deprivation, and social seclusion. But is this the only possible outcome? Well, they are not very much, so we could prevent it. Rao react with very addictive behavior to the instantly available stimuli. The Rao warm administrations decide to put an end to this and restrict the distribution of sexual media drastically. Regular development online pornography only inhabits a niche in the culture of the Rao. Many ignore it or integrate the media into their lives in healthy ways. Still, a segment of the population secludes themselves from society, leading to a small drop in population numbers. Or massive depopulation. The entire Rao society is obsessed with the sexual media available online. It leads to a massive decline in population numbers. Massive depopulation. Oh god, this is so memey. Yeah, mile a minute. Oh. The game is too much for me. It's really, if you want monetized streams, this is dangerous. But it's absolutely powerful. An ambitious Rao administration conquers new territories. I'm pleased to see ecologists establishing new resource management methods. The Rao administrations, oh god. What? The drowned warm multitudes have another resource crisis, scarcity crisis in Tau Ceti. Deep ore scarcity. Deep ore deposits are becoming scarce in the Tau Ceti system. The effects of transdrownedism brought the drowned civilization to a breaking point. While they are dealing with the resource scarcity, will the multitudes find ways to prevent the complete exhaustion of their environment, or will they turn against each other? So the drowned worms. They can go for a crisis. Scarcity causes discord and competition among the drowned. Knowledge diminishes, while the warm multitudes of Tau Ceti compete for the dwindling resources. Or war. The drowned pick up their impulse rifles and fight over access to the remaining deep ore deposits. Orbital fighter squads destroy entire mountain metroplexes. The so-called deep ore wars. And a lot of these resources will also be destroyed. With crisis. Crisis once, crisis second. It's the meme game, really. Now let's see what will happen. Hostility in Tau Ceti. With deep ore becoming rare, the drowned warm multitudes are preparing for the worst and protecting the vanishing resources. Cybernetic soldiers are deployed next to vital automated mining machines, and the inhabitants of Tau Ceti are too busy preparing for conflict to tackle the root of the scarcity crisis. could go for regular hostility. Some warm multitudes gather their cybernetic soldiers near vital automatic mining machines. The scarcity of deep ore leads to the abandonment of science networks. Or strong hostility. Orbital fighter squads protect the few remaining deep ore deposits at all costs, while warm multitudes prepare for conflict. Cyberneticists turn into cybernetic soldiers, abandoning knowledge in exchange for impulse rifles. Total war. The deep ore crisis escalates in no time. Also resources will be destroyed there. Cybernetic soldiers fight aggressively over access to automated mining machines, and orbital fighter squads destroy entire mountain metroplexes. The drowned civilization sinks deeper and deeper. Yeah, indeed, there's not going to be a lot of casualties. So it will not change anything about the exhaustion. Probably, but at least pop growth goes down a bit. Regular or total war? Now I could roll the dice. It's 1.5 to 1.5. I'm rolling the dice. Here we go. 1 to 10 is strong hostility. Regular hostility, yeah. 1 to 10 is regular hostility. Or total war is the rest. Traditional D20 gets a 14. It's total war. Let's roll. Here we go. Large amounts of deep ore massacres take place during the drowned Cyber Age. Instead of tackling the roots of their resource shortage, the cybernetic soldiers of Tau City happily murdered their own kind instead. Wow. Oh no, oh no, oh no. We need more war casualties. Okay. Major war multitude falls from influence. Don't need really technology in this case. Cyberneticists are lying to us. Yeah, population is already greater. We have another development event. Power in Sol. Autonomous warships. Huge interplanetary warships roam the Sol system. The entire personals are replaced by artificial strategy and control systems capable of hyper-fast decision-making and complex weapon coordination impossible for the slow brain of any formation. Prevent them? Regular or absolute power? Prevention. The first prototype ship behaves strangely. The tactical statistics and military efficiency of the autonomous warship are off the charts, but the strategy used by the artificial intelligence is so untypical for the formation that they are scared to build any more of them and abandon the prototype in deep space. Regular development. It takes decades to train these AI behemoths. The artificial control systems, which do not depend on any input by the formation, are very efficient and the pinnacle of every spaceship fleet in the Sol system. So absolute power. The autonomous warships maintain themselves, build new versions if needed, and populate the borders of the Sol system. The formation sometimes wonder if they are still in control of their terrifying creations. Absolute power. 2 times and regular 1 time. Which means we go for absolute power. Countless interplanetary warships roamed throughout the Sol system. They were not operated by any formation personnel, but controlled by self-improving artificial control systems and tactical artificial intelligences. Formation create a phenomenal simulation of their civilization's history. Establish a new sage cloud. Can we defend ourselves? Yeah, that's the question, really, right? Formation create a phenomenal simulation of their civilization's history. They mourn the death of a beloved sage regulator. Conflict between 2 major formation sage clouds is settled peacefully. We defend ourselves from malignant synthetic life forms created by alien species. The Siri networks have a development event, Knowledge in Series. Knowledge gathering construct. The Siri create the ultimate research computer. Vast construct, the machine optimizes itself constantly to gather knowledge about the universe. Civ Pillar. The machine repeatedly rebuilds itself, moves across the surface of the planet, and merges with nearly every structure. The Siri flawlessly integrates with a giant data collecting construct. Note that we don't really need that tech at the moment, because it has no real effect on the final tech. So if we want to win the game, it's more important to have multiple civilizations go into the Singularity Age. Regular development, the construct helps Siri to massively improve their research capabilities, but it is contained within a remote area of Dogstar. Dead end, the Siri become suspicious and fear the autonomy of the construct. Their most superstitious foment dissent, that Siri destroyed. We have 2 times pillar, 1 times dead end. And I have rain like the world will end here at the moment. It's okay to change your mind. It was after the explanation. It just leads to sometimes me picking the wrong thing, but that's okay too. So it's 2 times pillar and 1 times dead end, so we'll go for pillar. The whole surface of Dogstar was enmeshed with a giant knowledge-gathering construct. Ooh. Sounds like a hailstorm here. Yeah, it's a game. It's a game. Gather round pawn administrations are in a new technological age. What will they develop now in the cyber age? Come on. Rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and technologically augmented RAW, civilization undergoes drastic change and reaches new milestones in science, engineering, and the arts. We could go for wisdom. Crossing into the realm of AI, RAW now have the ability to vastly improve their societies and facilitate communication with faraway beings. However, new technologies present great risks as well, so a little extra wisdom couldn't hurt. Advancement. RAW focus on innovations in engineering. This includes finding the balance between consumption and resource preservation, advancing the infrastructure of their megacities, and exploring the galaxy beyond Gliese. The power. RAW prioritize military power, creating new tools for defense and combat on Gliese Sea or elsewhere in space. The fear of yet unknown alien enemies inspires dreams of interstellar conquest. We have 2 times power. Power to the... Okay. RAW became obsessed again. And... oh wow. Yeah, we have no water shortage this summer here. I feel like I'm living in the tropics. Tau Ceti is out of resources. Exhaustion of deep ore deposits. The drowned have used up all available deep ore deposits. They are no longer able to provide for their mountain metroplexes, and their warm multitudes will soon fall apart. The overuse of automated mining machines has destabilized the environment to the point where the drowned society may not survive this devastating crisis. We could regress. To survive, the drowned have to abandon their mountain metroplexes and form small, self-contained communities. The fall of the drowned warm multitudes could lead to savagery and oppression. Collapse. Chaos and panic lead to the complete disintegration of the drowned warm multitudes. Will the drowned take their impulse rifles and obliterate each other, or will they find a more peaceful way to deal with societal collapse? Or complete extinction. These are the final days of the drowned. Collapse of their civilization is accelerated by the use of neutron bombs deployed by the warm multitudes in their fight over the last remaining deep ore deposits. Collapse. 2 times collapse. Chance of total carnage means extinction. We have 1 time regress, 2 times collapse. This means I'm gonna roll. So, I'm gonna roll. Regress or collapse. Collapse is fun. Either is fun. We'll see. We'll see. 1 to 10, regress. The rest is collapse. We have 60. Collapse. Lost development. The drowned civilization completely regresses without access to any deep ore deposits. Current knowledge is lost, the cyberneticists of the past are forgotten, and the drowned regress to ancient ways of life to survive in their decaying mountain metroplexes. Artifacts from the Glory Age cannot be replicated anymore and become high in demand. Could go for a stable transition. Even without the knowledge of the past, the drowned managed to organize their society in very efficient ways. Their technological artifacts are well preserved. They are able to maintain the mountain metroplexes of their civilization. Regular development. The mountain metroplexes disintegrate fast, and the drowned retreat into warm ruins. Their old ways get lost more and more. Many drowned cannot survive without the knowledge of the past. They regress back to the industrial age. Collapse. 6.7 billion drowned lives are lost. The old world turns to dust within a generation. Primitive technology can only help a small fraction of the drowned to survive the collapse of their society. We have regular, we have stable. We have 2 times stable, 1 times regular, so we'll go for a stable transition. They regress back to the nuclear age. Civilization of the drowned fell back into the nuclear age after they completely exhausted their resources and destroyed their environment. They managed to maintain their mountain metroplexes and preserve some technological artifacts from their past. Certainly a dramatic history here. Nearly destroyed each other with nuclear weapons. Freak accident destroys a space station. Yeah. A drowned divine speaker rises to power. And now the Ceres starship factory is at it again. A great war threatens Kepler. The battle over paradise. The colonists have found the most beautiful space to settle on Kepler 4, but the land region is claimed by multiple factions who send out colonial soldiers to secure this paradise for their leaders. Ooh, what will happen? Peace? Cheap peace. The colonial soldiers are so mesmerized by the beauty of the area they are supposed to conquer, they lay down their magnetic rifles and leave this piece of paradise untouched. Regular conflict. Wiping out the entire population. The dominant faction defeats all opponents, builds a glorious capital colonial base in paradise, but everything gets eliminated. So they build that capital and then they go extinct. Total war will make the Kepler system uninhabitable and destroy everything. Nobody is able to conquer this paradise. Waves of exploration vehicles fight each other over the beautiful land region for many years, destroying the entire area in the process. Peace, peace, peace. Here we go. There's a particularly beautiful land region on Kepler 4. It's never been touched by any Ceres colonist. Legend has it that any factions of the interstellar branch that tries to conquer it will be hit by a terrible curse of epic proportions. Even more resources are available. Can we build a thriving civilization here? I don't know. We develop new diagrams for the buildings and tools. Work of a remarkable colonial scientist is widely circulated. The home in the Sol system still exists. Found a promising new colonial base. Yeah. Indeed, my minute. The beautiful cap boom. Sol is receiving alien signals. Formation True AI. The quantum computers of a regular formation true AI are picking up weak traces of the radio test signal from the Tau Ceti system. True AIs start to analyze the data from many light years away. Will they figure out that this is a message from Maru? We cannot go for enthusiasm, only for ignorance. The staff of the true AI are busy with other things, so the scrambled traces of the radio test signal are soon forgotten among the data stored in the quantum computers. Hostility. A rival Sage Cloud finds out about the radio test signal and sends a large military space fortress to destroy the true AI before scientific secrets about the drowned civilization can be uncovered. This incident leads to massive military tensions between the formation Sage Clouds. Out there for ignorance. An old quantum computer in a forgotten formation true AI still contains traces of the radio test signal from the drowned civilization. The true AIs never got around to analyzing the data. We have another development event. Growth in Sirius. Regenerative flesh. Gene manipulation is increasing the regenerative abilities of Siri flesh. Any tissue damage repairs itself in a short time, and even severe organ failure can be prevented by automatically regrowing replacement organs inside the bodies of the Siri, multiplying their lifespan tenfold. We could make it regular development. Regenerative flesh doesn't solve all Siri health problems, and severe injuries can still be fatal. The life expectancy does slowly increase, or a dead end. In a bizarre laboratory incident, the body of an unlucky Siri won't stop regenerating and turns into a massive blob of ever-growing flesh. The networks fear this abomination and stop the use of regen tech. Regen regular twice, dead end once, so we're gonna go for regular development. Boom. God, thanks to enhanced BioWare technology in Sirius, Siri tissue damage repaired itself in a short time, and some organ failure could be prevented by automatically regrowing replacement organs inside the body. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You can't just have pillars. Yeah. Signals from space. Siri knowledge gathering construct node. The quantum computers of a regular Siri knowledge gathering construct node are picking up weak traces of the radio test signal from the Tau Ceti system. True AI start to analyze the data from many light years away. Will they figure out this is a message from the Maru? Again. We can go for enthusiasm this time. The true AIs are celebrated by the Siri networks for their discovery. A new scientific era begins, dedicated to uncovering the secrets of the drowned civilization. Ignorance. The staff of the knowledge-gathering construct node are busy with other things, so the scrambled traces of the radio test signal are soon forgotten among the data stored in the quantum computers. Hostility. A rival network finds out about that radio test signal, sends a large military space fortress to destroy the knowledge-gathering construct node before scientific secrets about the drowned civilization can be uncovered. This incident leads to massive military tensions between the Siri networks. Enthusiasm. Yeah. Here we go. It preserves a lot. One ordinary day, Siri knowledge-gathering construct nodes picked up weak traces of the radio test signal from the Tau Ceti system. This was the start of a new scientific era with the goal of finding out more about the Maru. The signals. They create a phenomenal simulation of their civilization's history. It's called Siriopa Universalis. Yeah, the same signal one system over. Exactly like that. Many Siri are killed. We have our pawn sectors. Sending signals into space. Here we go, Gleaser. Technologically sophisticated and very bored users of this global cybernet of Gliese C found a way to generate so much traffic they could send disturbing memes and nihilistic messages to the stars. We could signal boost them this time. For free. Trolling is fun, so a barrage of confusing and contradictory memes emanates in all directions. Regular signal. Trolls send their signal towards Kepler before the rest of the route can convince them of the risks. Silence. Scared of offending potential alien civilizations, Cybernet users organize themselves to purge the network of trolls. What in the name of... So we have the troll signal. I mean, it is really no wonder, right? The raw porn sectors and the trolls. Porn memes here. My goodness me. All be part of the knowledge gathering construct one day. Formation establish new resource management methods. Here we go. Memes promoting environmental conservation methods circulate among the formation. State of the art. The formation achieve new scientific insights. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh well. Oceans leads to changes in water color. Oh my goodness. Siri form a monumental artificial planetoid. The Sirius system. The drowned warm multitudes. Yeah, environmental memes. We should develop them, right? We probably need them. That's so good. The T-planet's water color changes. Yeah. The drowned warm multitudes. A great war threatens Tau City. Welcome back to Crisis. International drug wars. From pure virgins to the international drug wars. That is the manufacture of narcotic plants into drugs and high demand for these addictive substances among the drowned lead to the rise of violent cartels all over Tau City 3. Drowned state militaries attempt to exterminate the cartels who fight back with paramilitary troops, bribery and terror attacks. We could go for regular conflict or total war. Regular conflict. Drowned governments pour vast energy into their fight against the drug cartels. Violence and overdose claim many drowned lives. 283 million casualties. Total war. International drug wars. Drug lords corrupt politicians planet-wide, toppling the foundations of drowned society. Countless bystanders are caught in the crossfire. Regular. Yeah, they are even more hardcore than the furry fish. From utopia to what? So we have regular or total war? Should I roll? Now the lemons want to destroy them. Oh. So what to do now? Hello there, Sergio Cortez. And welcome. Total War. Total War. It's true, it's true. In the long run of things. So we have international drug wars. Drowned society existed in a constant state of war with addiction at its root. Drug cartels controlled much of the economic activity on Tau City 3. Opposed by the few remaining operational governments, their warlords kidnapped, tortured and murdered innocent civilians in an endless struggle for control of the drug trade. Here we go. Drowned destroyed each other. We're living in a computer simulation. Who knows? Who knows? It exists somewhere in the galaxy. It's very likely to be a synthetic one. The design principles inspire the drowned to modernize the appearance and function of everyday objects. On Tau City 3, drowned ecology Eco-engineers establish new resource management methods. They reached a nuclear age when they regressed from the digital age. Series Starship Factory. Enlightenment in Kepler. Let's see. The pioneers of the Kepler system. The Siri branch is full of hope and passion for building a better world. The engineers among the colonists argue for decades over how to shape this new world into a paradise for every Siri. Civilization Pillar. Pioneer spirit of the colonists inspires the social engineers of the Siri to lay down a new way to build a just future. Regular development. Some of their ideas are very progressive and inspire the entire interstellar branch, but they also fail to question more problematic approaches to building a new society. Dead end. Pragmatic leaders come to power after the pioneer generation and they discard the progressive ideals of the early colonists. So we've got pillar, regular. And now. Yeah. So we have regular twice. If pillar once. Any more votes from maybe from Sergio Cortez? That would be great. So or pillar. I'll roll. I'm rolling the dice right now. It's a 3, which means pillar, definitely. In the early years of the Siri interstellar branch, the pioneer spirit gave every colonist hope for a better future, fueling the work of countless social engineers for many generations to come. Siri authors several volumes on the colonization of Kepler. Its powerful faction falls on Kepler 4. The social engineers of the Kepler interstellar branch inspire the Siri to live peacefully. Siri found a promising new colonial base. Corporate colonial planners establish a protected land region on Kepler 4. I don't know why there's 4 nodes, but it's on the map as well, really. It's maybe some kind of... I mean, it's early access with 3S. I mean, it works well, but it's definitely early access. The corporate colonial planners establish a protected land region on Kepler 4. Branch decline reduced Siri population in the Kepler system. We could even choose it now, which I don't dare to do. Formation Sage Clouds. Event. Sol is building spaceships again. Expansion Fleet. The formation make it their destiny to spread their civilization throughout the galaxy. Artificial intelligences pinpoint optimal expansion vectors. Androids construct a fleet of interstellar vessels in the Oort cloud of the Sol system. We could go for regular. The optimal expansion vector points to Gehenna system. And the artificial intelligence constructed expansion fleet starts its enterprise towards its new star, or dead end. Something goes horribly wrong with the artificial intelligences in charge of the construction progress, and all interstellar vessels and androids are accidentally dispersed into all directions of deep space. Regular. Dead end. If double regular, then go for regular. Set them out. That's our new formation expansion fleet. The expansion fleet was created in the Oort cloud of the Sol system by an artificial intelligence construction pipeline. The optimal expansion vector was set toward Gehenna. There's no one in Gehenna yet. Otherwise I would have mentioned it. Begins its enterprise to the Gehenna system. Created formation fleet Sage officer retires from active service. Formation are receiving alien signals. Signs of the Maru. The true AIs of the Formation expansion fleet are detecting unusual radio wave patterns. By chance, they find traces of the radio test signal sent out from the drowned civilization, but will their quantum computers analyze the true nature of the signal? Will they? We could ignore it or be hostile. The quantum computers of the Formation expansion fleet fail to find any signs of the Maru between the radio wave patterns, and the radio test signal is lost to the personnel. Hostility. Only fragments of the radio test signal can be decoded, and taken out of context, the Maru look quite disturbing. The Formation Sage Officer decides that the personnel must prepare for the worst. Ignorance. Ignorance, ignorance. 2 times ignorance. Hostility, yeah, but we have 2 times ignorance for now. So we'll go ignorance. Hostility was... yeah, it's definitely interesting. But here we go. During the Enterprise, the personnel missed the radio test signal of the drowned civilization. The onboard quantum computers failed to find the alien signs between the unusual radio wave patterns. Hostility can be fun, yeah, but it's too late for hostilities. Will we reach our destination safely? Yeah, with no hostilities. We'll see, because resource scarcity could still pose problems. We'll see how that goes. Here we go. Some more utopia. Personnel develop a new dialect of their native language. New Formation expansion fleet. Sage Officer is appointed. We have a resource crisis for the Siri networks. Ingress matter scarcity. Matter deposits are becoming scarce in the Sirius system. The effects of corporate consumption brought the Siri civilization to a breaking point. While they are dealing with the resource scarcity, will the networks find ways to prevent the complete exhaustion of their environment, or will they turn against each other? Yeah, it's true, Lucy. Yeah, other civilizations, like different people civilizations, are treated equally to colony civilizations. We could go crisis. In scarcity causes discord and competition among the Siri. Knowledge diminishes, while the networks of Sirius compete for the dwindling resources. Or war. The Siri pick up their sentient guns and fight over access to the remaining matter deposits. Military space fortresses destroy entire knowledge-gathering constructor in the so-called Ingress Meta Wars. We go crisis, crisis, and crisis. We have a crisis. What will happen? Mitigation in Sirius. Mitigation of scarcity. The infrastructure of Sirius society is falling apart because matter deposits are becoming scarce. Many technological advancements are not sustainable anymore. Knowledge-gathering construct nodes are left behind, and the people of Sirius are trading knowledge for survival. Because strong mitigation. True AIs are now busy keeping Sirius society from falling apart with the little ingress matter they have left. The next generations will be more capable of living with scarcity, but a lot of technological advancements will be lost. Still, we stay able to go for final tech. This, not so much. Mitigation of scarcity. The ingress matter crisis throws the Siri into complete developmental shock. Within a short time, they lose all the technological knowledge. Their true AIs regress back to the light speed age. We have strong mitigation. Or decay. Yeah, we have 2 times mitigation, 1 times decay, so we'll go mitigation. Some more resources. The infrastructure of Sirius society was crumbling because ingress matter became scarce. Their knowledge-gathering construct nodes tried to salvage what was left and succeeded, but lost a lot of technological progress in the process. What now? We don't need that. The AI manipulates data. Space station decay reduces the Siri population in the Sirius system. And we have more development. Paradigm shift in Galiza. The Simpletons Show. The longest running show of all time is the once very beloved The Simpletons, which migrated from television to holograms and everything in between. However, this enduring cartoon family of yellow-skinned drow has run slightly dry of ideas and is now getting on everyone's nerves with celebrity-glorifying cameos and cultural references devoid of humor. Will the comfortably numbing dribble finally be cancelled, or will the long reign of this worn-out cultural icon persist indefinitely? The Simpletons. Cultural ascent? Nope. Cultural expansion. It might not be what it used to be, but The Simpletons is still a perfectly cromulent show. Along with a renewal, a huge merchandising deal triggers a palpable surge in resource consumption. The Simpletons brand contraceptive devices don't work too well, though. Cultural descent. The Simpletons becomes non-optional essential programming. A once charming spot of light evening entertainment has hideously mutated into a monstrous tool of propaganda. Cultural descent. I'm taking them with me, yeah. Oh, God. Here we go. Citizens of Gleesea were forced to complete questionnaires periodically about the Simpletons, along with their taxes, to prove to the boss that they had been tuning in on the show. The penalty for Rao failing the Simpleton test could be up to 1/3 of their societal credits, though. Oh my goodness me, that's so terrible. Imagine them. Addicted to cyber porn and Simpletons are mandatory. It's... what a society that is. Oh, incurable society. Incurable society. Here we go, let's save them. But they're doing kind of okay, so... Librarians manipulate the raw porn sectors for personal gain. Oh, an influential RAW community director rises to power on Gleesea. Hard to tell. Major library Metroplex grows significantly in size and influence. Conflict between two major RAW porn sectors is settled peacefully. We have another reduction. Call of the eco-engineers. The warm multitudes of the drowned are urged by eco-engineers to reduce the consumption of resources. If the divine speakers of Tau City listen to them, the environment of the drowned can be conserved and exploitation of deep ore deposits reduced. Yeah, it's something like that. We could make it a civilization pillar. The drowned divine speakers are absolutely convinced that resource reduction is crucial for the future of their warm multitudes. From now on, they don't do anything without consulting their eco-engineers. Regular development. The warm multitudes may hear the call of the eco-engineers, but some divine speakers only pay lip service to their request to reduce environmental exploitation and only apply small changes, or a dead end. The drowned ignore the pleas of the eco-engineers and simply continue consuming the resources of their environment. Yeah, pillars. Pillars, pillars, pillars. Here we go. Save ecology. And here we go. New line of impulse rifles is manufactured. Science Network gains new insights from examining the deadly parasite from Tau City 3's Arctic regions. They're still holy. New design principles inspire the drowned to modernize the appearance and function of everyday things. A major warm multitude falls from influence inside of that. The drowned enjoy an enchanting new style of virtual artworks. Cybernetic soldiers capture an influential mountain metroplex in the Tau City system. Are we living in a computer simulation? And Starship Factory has something. Growth in Kepler. Colonial base expansion. The colonists of the Kepler system start to expand their living environment. With the aim of the series Starship Factory to promote growth in a major interstellar branch, plans are made to construct many new colonial bases. We could make it regular development or a dead end. Regular development. Not all of the colonial bases built are successful in the foreign environment of the Kepler system, but the corporate population still prospers and slowly expands their interstellar branch. Or a dead end. The series underestimate the hazardous environment. Their new home, the Kepler system claims all newly constructed colonial bases. Dead end regular. It's a dead end. It's a dead end. Going for a dead end. Countless ruins of colonial bases can be found around the early interstellar branch of the Siri. Colonists underestimated the hazardous environment of the Kepler system. Woo. An influential leader rises to power. A freak accident in the Kepler system destroys an entire corporate base. This powerful faction falls. Social engineers inspire the Siri to live peacefully. They mourn the death of a beloved leader. Does our home still exist? Oh, a large land region is exploited to serve the Siri colonists. Another development event. Injustice in Sol. Kill the ethnic systemizers. Opposed to civil progress in their society, some formation reactionaries take to extreme measures. They start murdering ethnic systemizers all over Earth because of their supposed corrupting influence on the sage regulators of the formation Sage Clouds. Will someone put an end to this slaughter? This sounds so strange. I have no idea what this is about, but we can prevent it. Formation are shocked by the killing of their ethic systemizers. The Sage Clouds of Sol stamp out the murderers with the full force of their AI commandos. Regular development. The Sage regulators do not want to lose the support of traditional formation, so their response to the killings is ambivalent. The murder of ethnic systemizers is not allowed, but not much is done by the Sage Clouds to protect them. Massive injustice. The killing of ethic systemizers embraced by many Sage Clouds. They are hunted down by AI commanders all over Sol. The sentient gun triumphs over civil progress. 2 times prevention. Very soon we'll prevent it. Here we go. During the Singularity Age, Extreme Formation tried to kill as many ethic systemizers as they could, but the Sage Clouds used the full force of their AI commandos to protect them and punish the murderers. Here we go. Conflict is settled peacefully. AI commanders capture an influential orbital habitat. Charismatic formation Sage regulator rises to power. Major Sage Cloud falls from influence. Formation establish a new Sage Cloud. We have a development event for the Formation Expansion Fleet. Formation Consumption. Expired resource storage. During the long enterprise of the Formation Expansion Fleet, the resource storage produced long ago in the Sol system starts showing signs of deterioration. The logistics officers alarm the Sage officer about this situation. Prevention. We could prevent it. The quantum technicians and true AIs worked for many years to prevent the deterioration of the onboard resource storage, developing a strong expertise in durability techniques. Regular development. The Sage officer orders harsh guidelines to manage the consumption of the Formation personnel. Deterioration will still reduce the resource storage, but for far less resources will be used. Massive consumption. The personnel do not find a solution and hope that they will arrive in the Gehenna system before they run out of resource storage. Yeah, prevention. Let's go prevention. So we prevent that development, which is of course good, but we still have resource scarcity, so we'll see. Quantum technicians craft new sentient guns. Enterprise may be the noblest formation endeavor of all time. Formation Expansion Fleet are engaging in military training exercises. New Formation Expansion Fleet Sage officer is appointed. Enterprise may be the noblest formation endeavor of all time. And we have the destination reached. Arrived at the Gehenna system. Polar Interstellar Branch. A long enterprise ends as the expansion fleet arrives at its destination. The personnel determines that the polar regions of Gehenna 6 are protected by Arctic ice. They propose starting an interstellar branch there to observe local life forms. With perfect success, the expansion fleet drills down into the Arctic ice of Gehenna 6. Insulated by the snow cover, the formation flourish and can access resources trapped under the ice. Trouble development. Adapting to the environment of Gehenna 6 is difficult. The expansion fleet lands on the polar region of Gehenna 6, but the personnel is forced to abandon the spacecraft. Total failure. The collapse of the polar ice on Earth dooms the expansion fleet as it tries to embed itself within the Arctic shelf, ending the life of formation. All aboard. We have trouble. We have military training exercise that cause a permanent population decline? Yeah. Troubled development or perfect success? We have 2 times troubled development. So we'll go troubled development. Indeed. And the lush ocean world, the main star grew hotter and turned the planet's landscape into a gigantic salt desert. Formation begin to make the Gehenna system their home. The resources. Oh. They found a promising new colonial base. Oh. Colonial planners establish new resource management methods, and they need to. Formation Polar Ice Branch in Gehenna. Corporate tensions. The leaders of the Ice Branch fear potential dangers hidden in the Gehenna system. Exploration vehicles are reinforced to defend the formation from outside aggression, be it alien visitors or hostiles from their own Sol system. Armed colonial soldiers patrol the colonial bases to suppress any threats from within the Ice Branch. Oh, what a dramatic situation we're here. We could prevent it altogether. The formation care more about the progress of their Ice Branch and not about the militaristic tendencies of their leaders. Eventually they have to submit to the will of the people. Regular. The colonial bases are reinforced with colonial soldiers. The Ice Branch is guarded by exploration vehicles. The formation in Gehenna can now better defend themselves. Absolute power. It becomes a top priority to defend the Ice Branch from any threats. The colonial bases are turned into fortresses, and as many as possible of the polar colonists are armed with sentient guns. Absolute power. Yeah, might. Prevention 2 times. Okay. So we have 2 times absolute power. of absolute power. As the founding of the militarized branch, the top priority of the formation leaders was to defend the Gehenna system at any cost. Soon all polar colonies were completely militarized. The new technological age here. The Singularity Age. In the Starship Factory. Singularity Interstellar Branch. The theory created machines with the ability of recursive self-improvement. These constructs can autonomously build copies of themselves that are more powerful and efficient than the originals, and these copies can build even better copies, and so forth. The path to true artificial intelligence is clear. We have not enough population for the final technology. Could go for wisdom. The Siri identify themselves with a new technology that can widen their thinking, improve their societies, or send signals to space. The work of the previous generations with advancement inspire the Siri to use the technology to explore new areas, preserve the resources of the interstellar branch, advance their infrastructure, or build starships. Or power. Siri see themselves now as superior than their ancestors from Earth and create new tools to defend themselves, harm each other, or attack other species. Advancement, here we go. More dinosaurs we need. The cruelty of the frontier wars were idolized. Oh yeah, but we have more dinosaurs now, so let's see what we will be able to do here. Will technology help us save this? Will we grow beyond? Settlers mourn the death of a beloved leader. Receiving a signal from our companions in the soul, maybe. Development event. Depopulation in Sirius. Here we go. Malevolent smart buildings. Smart buildings in the knowledge-gathering construct hub of Sirius have provided generations of Siri with efficient and comfortable housing that could be adopted on the fly by centralized AI. Recently, core systems have deteriorated and gone haywire, making this smart architecture into a death trap. Yeah, this looks serious. There's 4 civs, and look at that, we have reached... We could prevent it. A new centralized construct node capable of restructuring the malevolent software and structural issues of the smart cities is created by the Siri True AIs, making them safe again. Regular development? The broken smart buildings are deactivated and demolished. The Siri Knowledge Gathering Construct Hub, underprivileged inhabitants of the Sirius system, still live in the ruins of the failed smart cities. Massive depopulation. Buggy AI corrupted the entire Sirius system's smart building network over generations. Oh, I'm sorry. Unable to deactivate it, the Siri had to get used to the horrific reality of being murdered by their own homes. Massive depopulation. Yeah, it's hilarious. So we have... I think it can still work. But we'll now have massive depopulation. Death houses. Oh god. Malevolent smart buildings frequently murdered their Siri inhabitants on a regular basis. The core network was corrupted over many generations and could not be deactivated without triggering a system-wide catastrophe. 10 sales went up. Conflict is settled peacefully. The formation polar ice branch is out of resources. Exhaustion of planetary resource fields. The formation have already used up all planetary resource fields. It's no longer possible to provide for their fortified bases, and the militarized branch is on the brink of falling apart. The polar colonists have not adapted to the Gehenna system yet, and may not survive this crisis. We have no resources anymore. We could regress, we could collapse, or we could go complete extinction. Regress. To survive the formation, need to abandon their fortified bases and form small self-contained communities. The fall of the formation militarized branch could lead to oppression. collapse. Chaos and panic lead to the complete disintegration of the formation polar ice branch. Will the formation make their sentient guns and eradicate each other, or will they find a more constructive way to deal with this collapse? Complete extinction. These are the final days of the formation. The factions fight over the last remaining planetary resource fields. The fate of the militarized branch is sealed through the use of death rays. Regress, collapse, regress. Yeah, we have 2 times regress. Chance of tyranny. Tyranny in Gehenna. Research branches managed to survive without planetary resource fields, but at what cost? The military leaders create a new violent and cruel society from the ashes of the formation fortified bases. There's a real risk that many formation may not get any of the new resources. Tyrannosaur tyranny, yeah. Tyrannosaur. Could go minimal repression, regular development, or total repression. Minimal repression. From the ashes of the disintegrated fortified bases, the polar colonists are able to reuse some resources and survive. Inequality rises sharply and colonial scientists turn into colonial soldiers. The stagnating formation population does survive. Regular development. Under the forced rule of the sentient gun, only a select group of polar colonists are allowed to access resources, repurposed from the old fallen scientific factions. All remaining formation have to stand by and see the new society grow, while they themselves perish. This will definitely go for a break in Final Tech, as will this, because of the fewer pops. Society's total repression. Society's most ferocious manage to climb to the top of the formation research branch. They hoard resources of the former scientific factions inside construction sites, while commanding colonial soldiers. The rest of the formation have to give up and die. Greetings, 6CF finally made it to a live stream. And in a dramatic situation as well. Welcome here, yeah. It's dramatic in multiple ways. First, we have multiple crises. Second, I don't have much time anymore. And third, we might win it. So minimal. Here we go. They're in trouble. Go for minimal repression though. We have more resources, it has worked. Forced into construction sites, the research branch of the formation only just survived a complete exhaustion of resources. The new society, however, created from the ashes of the former scientific faction, was cruel, unfair, and ruled by colonial scientists who enjoyed their new function of colonial soldiers. Let's strengthen them a bit. Or a bit more. Conflicts are settled peacefully. Received a signal someday from our companions in the soul. Gehenna Colonial Marines. The pawn section. The troll pawns. Reached the solar age, overcoming previous limits of propulsion and engineering. Rao are now able to build ships capable of exploring and colonizing their own solar system. Advanced AI are built to escort them on their journey, while mastery of genetic engineering allows Rao and their crops to adapt to the new colonies. We could go for wisdom. Orbital space labs develop tech to allow Rao to expand even further into the cosmos. Advancement. Techniques are developed to allow terraforming and colony construction in even the harshest environments in the Gliese system. Or power. A fleet of city-sized battleships patrol the Gliese system to ensure that colonies remain loyal to the government on Gliese Sea. It's so dystopia. They have breached planetary containment. Yeah, they Advancement. It's definitely something. How did they do it? I don't know. I don't know. It's a strange dystopia. It's a strange dystopia. So if 1 times advancement, 2 times advancement, So tick, tick, tick. We'll go advancement. Advancement, here we come. Stirring up cosmic trouble for lols, the Drow Troll Alliance sent signals into space. These Cybernet users knew they might have to wait, but it would all be worthwhile if any species took the bait. They earned that dystopia. Life finds a way, indeed. In the drowned war multitudes. More knowledge in Tau City. Massive supercomputers. The drowned create massive analog supercomputers. These towering, clicking machines are as big as buildings and require thousands of attendants to operate them. We could make them a civilization pillar. To speed them up a bit. The drowned become dependent on these supercomputers to analyze and make all their key decisions. Mastering computer language is the most important task in their society. Regular development. These machines rush the drowned toward a new digital age, leading to incredible scientific advances or dead end. Hardware flaws in the supercomputers lead to massive calculation errors and unforgivable mistakes. Thinking they are a waste of resources, the drowned disband the machines. The pillar. Pillar, pillar, pillar. Pillar, here we go. 1, 2, 3. The pillar comes at thee. Massive supercomputers dominated the landscape on the surface of Tau City 3, clicking and vibrating through buildings and homes. Ah. A fighter squad is formed. It's very likely to be a synthetic system. Yeah. They lie down their impulse rifles and abandon the art of war? No, not more growth, please. Influential drowned divine speaker rises to power. Formation polar ice branch. Gehenna is receiving signals. Formation polar ice branch are picking up a transmission that did not originate from Earth, their home planet. The military leaders of the formation must decide whether they should spread the trollish signal from the drowned civilization among their colonial scientists or mobilize the colonial soldiers of the research branch. You got trolled. Troll signals coming through. Enthusiasm. The military leaders of the formation decide that the content of the trollish signal should be widely spread among the colonial scientists. Ignorance. Fearing that the trollish signal will destabilize the research branch, the military leaders decide that they should delete all data traces of the Rao civilization's existence. Hostility. The colonial soldiers of the research branch are mobilized. The production of exploration vehicles receives top priority in case the Rao also want to colonize the Gehenna system. So, one voice for hostility. Enthusiasm or hostility, we can't ignore this. Yeah, we're too trolled. We're too trolled. So you're the neutral voice now. So we have basically we have a half-time enthusiasm and 1.5 times hostility. So we'll go for hostility if nothing changes. Ignorance. So ignorance. So the ranking is hostility, ignorance, enthusiasm right now. So. Yeah, I'm not going to be enthusiastic about simpletons, nihilistic meme trolls, and all administration. Indeed, there's something to that. That is beyond the game. Beware. It's hostility we're in. They were in constant alert and prepared for a potential invasion of the Rao trolls. The military leaders of the research branch decided on this course of actions after receiving the trollish signal from the Rao civilization. Even when they had weapons that could exterminate everything, right? Here we go. Establish a new scientific faction. So dystopian in the Gehenna system. It's truly a Gehenna. The Sage Clouds have another development event. Extinction in Sol. My goodness me. Now they're just afraid because of the trolls. Nihilistic intelligence explosion. Formation makes self-replicating machines that can improve their own design with each iteration. As time goes on, their processing power increases, the machines deviate from their originally intended function and start forming their own objectives instead. Without formation-centric ethics, these hyper-advanced beings could soon become the dominant form of intelligence in the Sol system. Close call. The autonomous thinking machines could easily crush the formation, but instead they peacefully withdraw to the Oort cloud. Of Sol, minimal survivors, the machines turn on their creators, terminating almost all of the formation before an ancient failsafe mechanism is triggered or complete extinction. Deciding the formation civilization has no purpose, the machines instantly end all biological and artificial life in the Sol system. Yeah, the Rao are everything wrong with the galaxy. Now, I have to go in around 10 minutes, so I don't know if we can reach final technology then, or if we should just roleplay, and I'll try if I can stream tonight, but it's unlikely, I'd say. Dinosaurs survive with a close call. It's a cheap close call, to be honest. Torn between close call and minimal survivors. It's a good story. So I think I'll go for close call now, if there's not more voices. Minimal. The ancient failsafe mechanism. That feels dramatic. Okay, okay. That feels like an action movie. Like, so we have more minimals. Put less strain on their resources, but they might not be able to research. Well, they still have 4 billion. We'll see. Boom. Only an ancient failsafe mechanism saves us. Technology is reduced massively. A new form of hyper-intelligence self-destructed after killing most of the remnants was intended to serve. In the AI's autonomous learning process, its mortal creators were deemed annoyingly inefficient. Their extermination was halted only by a safety feature in the core source code. They form a monumental artificial planetoid in the system. Can we prevent the creation of another hostile hyper-intelligence? Major new remnant orbital habitat is developed in the Sol system. Conflict between two major fragments is settled peacefully. Charismatic remnant sage regulator rises to power. The remnants form a monumental artificial planetoid in the Sol system. We have the settler factions developing. Reduction in Kepler. Frugal leaders. Leaders rule the settler factions with a sense of moderation and efficiency. Thinking of future Kepler generations, they try to slow down the resource consumption of the settler and preserve finite matter deposits. Civilization pillar. Frugality becomes the cornerstone of settler culture. Leaders who embrace moderation are admired, and it is seen as a crucial part of leadership among the factions of Kepler. Regular development. These leaders are not very successful in their era, but quantum chips describing settler idols of frugality become popular among future generations. Dead end. Settlers are unhappy with their cheap leaders, and their influence on the factions of Kepler dwindles fast. Pillar, regular. Mistakes were made. Yeah. Pillar versus regular. We're at it. What do we go for? You hear my dice jumping here. 1 to 10 will be Civ Pillar. Okay. Pillar regular. Regular. Regular twice. Yeah, the reserves are very useful, of course. Regular development it is. Frugality quantum chips from the settler singularity age were very popular. Kepler, former leaders who exemplified moderation and efficiency were admired by the settlers. Yeah, I only counted Pillar once. It's okay. Mourn the death of a beloved leader. Remarkable true AI from the settler interstellar branches shares new insights about the Kepler system. Oh great, let's try that. The value engineers of Gliese C inspire the Rao to live peacefully. Hey, we got rid of the fourth one. Settler optimization controllers establish new resource management methods for the interstellar branches. Settlers in the Kepler system mourn the death of a beloved leader. So they will receive a signal from our companions in the soul. Settlers in the Kepler system mourn the death of a beloved leader again. Development event. In Sirius. Consumption. Dwindling metal deposits are not as easy to exploit anymore as in the past. As a reaction, the Siri of Sirius could move their malevolent construct hub closer to the diminished resources and establish more self-replicating extractors, harming their environment in the process. Oh god. You could prevent this for nothing. The Siri adapt their behavior to consume fewer resources. Networks manage to work around shortages of deposits, thus preventing harm to the environment of Sirius. Or the controller of the Siri networks reacts to the matter of deposit shortage by increasing resource extraction. The rise in exploitation leads to increased environmental damage, which is definitely critical for regular development, or massive consumption, which could exterminate us. Panic causes the networks of Sirius to apply every possible measure to increase the exploitation of meta deposits. They relocate malevolent construct hub and establish more and more self-replicating extractors. Let me tell you a story about this, because that reminds me so much of real life. In Germany we have frequent water shortages now in summer, and a solution that was proposed by the environmental minister was we should construct like more water distribution systems. No, not water storage, more water distribution. I was dazzled that this could be called a solution. Yeah, let's distribute less water. That will give us more water. Water comes from the tap. That's the that's like that. Like let's consume more. Then there will be more for everyone, right? That was just dazzling to me. So will the T-Rexes are more intelligent like this, and they prevent this. It's a good solution if it gets you more votes. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, but I think everyone can see through that. Absolutely everyone. Or at least I hope so. Politicians are not geniuses. That is unfortunately true. Or maybe it's not unfortunate. Maybe it's fortunate. I don't know. They could be evil geniuses, right? Yeah, it's like that generation. Like milk comes from the milk package, and water comes from the tap. That generation has reached power now. Oh god, they can develop now. They are building spaceships. They are expanding the troll civilization. Colonial expedition, speculating on massive profits and power in a distant future. The factions of the Gliese system start to outfit an interstellar expedition with a mission of establishing a permanent colony in the Tea Garden system. Here we go. Could start an epic project for just about nothing. Or 10 points. The prognosis of successfully populating Tea Garden is so promising. Every Rao faction builds their own expedition ships. Regular development. Private investors fund many of the colony ships, but due to major setbacks in construction, only one vessel is space ready on the highly anticipated expedition day. Dead end. After conservative analysts prove that it will take centuries for this endeavor to bring any profits back to Gliese Sea, funding for the colonial project runs dry. Epic project. You have a plan. So we have one vote for epic project. We need to hurry. We really need to hurry. I have to stop in like 5 to 10 minutes. It has to be epic. Okay. I'll release that statement to the public. YouTube blocked it. Elon Rao. Yeah, definitely. It's Elon Rao going to space. Here we go. Epic project. The epic trolls. The Rao send explorers and colonists abroad in this interstellar expedition. The mission was to stake their claim amidst the stars and deliver wealth and valuable resources and trolls from Tea Garden back to Gliese. The Rao colonial fleet. Here we go. Completely redesigned by the crew. Retires from the service. Here we go. In the solar age even. I don't even know. Going forward. We have a development event for them. Here we go. Rao Injustice. Sadistic officers. A clique of cruel officers brought themselves into positions of power on the Rao colonial fleet and used their authority to torment the weakest of the colonist crew. Nobody gets killed, but the daily life aboard the ship will become horrible if this is allowed to continue. What shall we do? Prevent this? The colonist crew threatens to revolt against the officers, and the fleet commander agrees to throw them out of the nearest airlock. Regular development. The officers cannot risk being open about the cruel games they play with the colonist crew. They manage to implement many hidden methods to torture and manipulate the unlucky ones aboard the Rao colonial fleet. Massive injustice. The fleet commander joins the ranks of the torturers, and from now on their cruel games are no longer hidden. This becomes part of daily life aboard the Rao colonial fleet. Yeah, that's definitely a cool. It's a space egg, right? It is Necrid, somehow. It's true. So, we gotta decide. Massive injustice. Yeah, it fits the topic. Total dystopia. The porn dystopia. Trolls. Massive injustice. Here we go. We have sadistic officers. A clique of cruel officers brought themselves into positions of power on the Rao colonial fleet and used their authority to torment the weakest of the colonist crew. At some point, the fleet commander joined their ranks. It's a fun cruise. It's a fun cruise, definitely. They're traveling so far. Where will this end? Woo. Crew reduction reduces the numbers of the Rao colonist crew. I wonder where this reduction comes from, right? Maybe a little bit too many games. Yeah. It's a development event for the drowned worms. civil rights movement. They have disenfranchised ethnic minorities and legalized racial discrimination. Resistance campaigns, grassroots protests against the war multitudes are rising all over Tau Ceti 3, demanding the abolition of segregation laws, the end of structural racism. Degenerates gain power, but these are the degenerates. We could make it a civil rights movement. A pillar. Discriminatory laws are abolished and drowned society is transformed by the civil rights movement. Class systems are dismantled by settlements, land-based compensation and community restructuring or regular development. Civil rights movement makes a huge impact on lawmakers, but the structure of drowned society is still rooted in discrimination or a dead end. The divine speakers of the drowned war multitudes scorn the movement. Law enforcement is used to infiltrate and break up civil rights groups. The privileged clutch to their racist past. Restore utopia. Here we go. Pillar. Strong civil rights movement convinced the drowned to invest in a more equitable society. The minority and majority ethnic groups work together to restructure communities of Tau Ceti 3 and compensate the most disenfranchised. Here we go. Rise to power. They have their utopia. Here we go. So many of them, Maru, it's crazy. The settler factions have reached the final technology. We didn't make it to space. We have reached the final technology in the Kepler system of all things, the Ansible network. Highly advanced artificial intelligence in the Kepler system use an immense amount of energy to guess the parallax states of their artificial intelligence counterparts in other systems in the galaxy. This technological gambit is successful. Instant communication between all civilizations, starships would be possible. We can ignore it, but we can also... I mean, I have to end soon, so... I'd rather be a drowned worm than a raw colonist. Indeed, we could synchronize the galaxy. The game is won. Maybe. 50%. The galaxy is in concert. The artificial intelligences of Kepler transform into a galactic hub of the parallax Ansible network. And every civilization is connected on a galactic level. Galactic Discord. Settler factions open the parallax data stream to the galaxy, but the paranoid artificial intelligence do not trust their interstellar counterparts. The Ansible network is on the brink of collapse or Ansible overload. Galactic disaster. The energy usage gets completely out of hand as soon as the parallax synchronization is established. Only the disintegration of the Ansible hub can save the network from a complete burnout. Synchronized? Synchronized? We'll see. We'll see if it works. Here we go. Our story ends here. The parallax conspiracy. It's not a high note, it's a low note. The artificial intelligences are in control of galactic communication and slowly take control. Without killing a single biological life form, they rule the galaxy by manipulating crucial data. Before anyone notices, the synchronized singularity will reign over all sapient life. And we have some cool new music. I've never heard this music from the game. It's the Matrix. Definitely. It even looks like the Matrix. Yeah, it's not really the culture, right? I don't know. Because the culture guys don't manipulate that data. But it's a dystopian culture. Galaxy-wide rogue servitors, it's true. But maybe not rogue servitors. Something else. Like it's as if the sadistic torturers of the Rao developed an AI and that took over. Probably like that. thank you all for being here. It was very fun. We did it. We managed to complete the game. On another note, I've never had this ending. So thank you for participation and for watching. And exactly something like that, Lucy Dawnstar. Have a great time until next time, and happy gaming. We'll see each other in another stream, let's play, or wherever on the channel. See you soon, and happy gaming.